14th Amendment to the Constitution, which guaranteed the right to vote irrespective of race, color, or previous conditions of servitude. Blacks got the right to vote, and we know there was a tremendous white backlash in the South with the rise of the Ku Klux Klan in the late 1860s, white mob groups that emerged, and the great historian John Hope Franklin says that by 1898, blacks in the South had been almost completely disenfranchised because violence was used also, not only the grandfather clauses, poll taxes, restrictions in terms of residency and property rights, but also violence was used to intimidate black voters and to eliminate the black voting processes in the South. And this is why by 1898 you have blacks almost completely disenfranchised in the South. So you don't have the exercise of the ballot very much at all in black communities in the South between 1898 up to 1965, when you get the signing of the Voting Rights Act into law by President Johnson.
And so this played a very, very significant role in the terms of helping to elevate the African out of the situation that many of them found themselves in because of segregation and some of the other things associated with it.
Absolutely. With the Voting Rights Act of 1965, you really get a kind of transformation from what was called the Old South to what Martin Luther King Jr. and others called the New South. The New South was that South that respected inclusive participatory democracy, which of course included the right to vote. That's why Dr. King felt that the Voting Rights Act was such a landmark achievement in the civil rights struggle, because he felt that in order to have economic power, you have to have political power. In other words, political power is a path to economic power. This is why it was so important for Dr. King, Julian Bond, who recently passed away, and others who were actively involved in the struggle for voting rights.
And so also I think, Dr. Baldwin, Africans started to appear in Congress for the first time during this period between 1870 and 1898.
Exactly.
And that played a significant role in reference to bringing black folks out to vote.
Exactly. In some of the state legislatures, meaning South Carolina, for an example, blacks outnumbered whites. So for the first time, you get people who were once slaves having the right to vote, having the right to hold political office. And of course, that was very intimidating to white Southerners at that time. So they resorted to states' rights tactics, arguments to sort of reinforce or reclaim or reinstate traditions of white supremacy. And of course, we see that going on today with these new voter ID laws. Some 34 states today have voter ID laws, some of which are very strict. They require government or state-issued voter IDs. Take Texas, for an example, which has one of the strictest voter ID laws. There, they only respect driver's license, military IDs, passports, gun licenses, but they don't respect student IDs. So what you have now today is a retreat into what happened in the past, going back to these states' rights arguments, arguing that states have the right